seated, please. All right. Here on State of Ohio versus Cody Wheeler, 25-168. Motion to suppress. State ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Graham?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Norota?
Judge, state would waive opening and, assuming Mr. Graham does the same or whatnot, I'm ready to call my first witness.
Opening or no?
I'll waive opening, Your Honor.
Okay,
You-
call your
you'll
first
hear the
witness.
evidence.
Detective Ryan Butler.
Raise your right hand, please. Swear testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Have a seat.
Thank you. Good afternoon, officer.
Good afternoon.
Detective, I should say. Would you be kind enough to state your name, spell your last name for the record, sir?
Sure, my name is Ryan Butler, B-U-T-L-E-R.
Detective, what is your occupation?
I'm a detective with the Mentor Police Department.
How long have you been employed in that capacity?
In the position of detective for the last 6 years, as a police officer for Mentor the last 12 years.
So you've been with Mentor 18 years?
No, I apologize. 12 years total with Mentor.
Okay, 6 and 6?
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
Could you just briefly outline your education and training that
We'll
follows?
stipulate to his qualification.
All right, he's a certified police officer by stipulation.
Thank you, Judge. When you were originally assigned to the Bureau, were you assigned to a particular division of the Bureau or just a detective that handled all offenses that came through the Bureau?
A particular position, and that was a narcotics detective.
All right. If you would briefly outline the duties that you have as a result of the narcotics detective within the city of Mentor.
As a narcotics detective, pretty much anything drug related is going to come across my desk. My duties range from investigating prescription drug thefts to overdose investigations to following up on patrol officers' drug related arrests to going out and finding my own work to working with confidential informants to do controlled buys of drugs. Pretty much anything drug related in the city is going to come across my desk.
All right, well, let's talk about that a little bit. You said, like, sometimes you assign yourself to a particular task on a given day. Does that sometimes involve undercover work?
Yes.
All right. Does it sometimes involve the observation of traffic within the city of Mentor?
Yes.
Things of that nature?
Mhm.
And with respect to your uniform requirements based on the division that you've been assigned, what are those?
Pretty much what I'm wearing right now, just regular everyday apparel. Very frequently, right, we go out into the city in a plain clothes, unmarked capacity where, yeah, we're just supposed to fit in with the general public. So this is a very common attire, tennis shoes, pants or jeans, and right, t-shirt or a hoodie.
With respect to those occasions when you're out in the community and you're not necessarily in a complete undercover capacity, say you're observing traffic or involved in potential offenses or whatnot that involve traffic stops, what is your uniform at that point?
At that point, I would put on my outer carrier over the plain clothes that I'm wearing.
So, dragging you. This is your exterior, I'm gonna call it your outer carrier or exterior vest?
Correct.
Okay, and that is something that was issued by the Mentor Police Department?
Yes.
Okay. And it has your name on the front,
Yes, it does.
your Mentor city, like a
Patch.
patch or like, and your equipment that you're issued and the police notation on the back. Is that right?
Yes.
I'm just gonna leave that there for now. I'm not gonna mark it as an exhibit, it's just for demonstrative purposes, obviously.
Yes.
All right, I want to turn your attention, sir, to January 27th, 2025. Are you working in your capacity as a minor city detective?
Yes, I was.
And do you have a partner?
Yes.
And who's that?
That's Detective Don Swindell.
How long have you guys been partners?
For the past 6 months.
Okay. Now, so as a result of having a partner, when you report to work, what if any conversation or what if any arrangements do you and Detective Swindell have in terms of what investigation you're going to do that day?
Yeah, we typically have some communication early in the day, just asking each other, hey, what do you have going on? Do you have any cases that we need to follow up on? Do we have any reports or tips that we received to go follow up on, do surveillance or investigate? So yeah, we kind of just figure out, hey, what's the flavor of the day and what do we want to do?
What do you guys want to do that day?
A common thing that we do is we'll go out in a marked, unmarked fashion where one person is in a marked patrol car while the other person is in a unmarked patrol car,
Okay. And
police
on
car.
that particular day, and I don't think I asked you, what are the hours of your shift that day?
We work from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Right. During the course of that shift, it was a decision the two of you made to go out in this marked and unmarked capacity?
Yes.
All right. And turning your attention to early afternoon, around 1 or 2 o'clock, is that indeed what happened?
Yes.
And who was the unmarked unit and who was the marked unit?
I was the unmarked unit. Detective Swindell was the marked unit.
So as a result of that particular activity that you chose to make part of your investigation for the day, what type of uniform, if you will, were the two of you wearing?
Just this, our regular narcotics detective uniform, jeans, normal shirt.
What, if any, exterior carrier, is that what you're calling the vest?
Yes.
Or vest, as I call it.
Yes. Detective Swindell that day, since he was in a marked patrol car, he was wearing his outer carrier, very similar to mine. Me, since I'm in a unmarked car, it's a Chevy Equinox. I have the ability to sit in normal pedestrian areas, gas stations, parking lots. So while I'm doing that, I'm not wearing this. It would be rather odd if somebody saw me wearing this in a regular Chevy Equinox. That would be a pretty big giveaway.
So you're sort of in an undercover capacity in the unmarked unit.
Yes.
If it becomes necessary to assist Detective Swindell, what are you going to do?
I just slide that on. And,
So
Yep.
you put your vest on?
mm-hmm.
All right. Now, did there come a point in time during that early afternoon where you did assist Detective Swindell?
Yes.
How was it you became aware that you were going to be his backup?
I heard Detective Swindell give out radio traffic over the air that he pulled over a car. I recognized the description of the car and the license plate that he called out over the air, and he asked for a backup officer to respond. So,
How is it you recognize that vehicle?
I had previous knowledge of this car, the registration, the known occupants of the car.
From prior investigation.
Yes.
Now, in addition to your vest, are you also wearing a body cam?
Yes.
And did you activate that body camera at any point while you were assisting Detective Swindell?
Yes.
So once you became aware of his location and what was happening, what did you do, Detective Butler?
I drove to his location, pulled into the parking lot, and activated my body cam.
one. Are you familiar with this, what's on this thumb drive?
Yes, I am.
And what is that, sir?
It's going to be my body cam.
And is it a fair and accurate copy of your
We'll
body cam?
stipulate to the body cam, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Plug it in, Bob?
It's Exhibit 1, you said?
States one.
Right.
Right. So your body cam comes on, when? Do you activate it once you become aware of the fact that he's executing a stop? Is that when?
Yes, you'll see I push the button to turn it on. There is a, I believe, 30 seconds or a minute playback on the video. There's not going to be any audio during that time, though.
Okay. So where are we at this point?
We're in the Bob Evans parking lot in Menor on Reynolds Road. I just parked my car and I'm getting some gloves from my back seat.
Okay. It's Lake County, okay?
Yes, it is.
So you have your vest on?
Yes, I've kind of mastered a way of putting it on while I'm driving. So
Whose vehicle is that?
that was the police car that Detective Swindell was driving that day.
So a marked Menor Cruiser?
Yes.
And this is who?
That's my partner, Detective Swindell.
What's your answer?
So Detective Swindell had the driver get out of the car. There were two more people sitting in the car, so I just stood on the passenger side and kept an eye on them.
Pause it. Make sure you pause it when you're talking, because I don't think she can hear you.
Okay. Did
Okay.
you get that? All right. So, once again, this is your reflection?
Yes.
Okay, and that's your exterior vest that you had on January 27th of 2025?
Yes.
Okay, when you entered into the stop that was originated by Detective Swindell?
Correct.
If I could have one moment, Judge?
Sure.
I don't have any other questions, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Detective Butler.
Good afternoon.
I'm Ron Graham. I represent Corey today. So, I'm a little confused here, so maybe you can help me out. So, you say you monitor traffic. When you monitor traffic, what are you looking for?
In my unmarked capacity, when I'm in an
Well, let's talk about this day.
Sure.
Detective Swindell's in a marked Menor police car. He says in his report he's observing traffic. What's he looking for?
I can't testify to what he's
What are you
looking for.
when you're running traffic?
Yeah. In an unmarked car or a marked car? I
No,
don't.
Menor police car. What are you looking
As a narcotics detective, that would be any suspicious activity, any criminal activity, any vehicles that maybe I have information about that would be.
Let's talk about this day.
Mhm.
This car passes Detective Swindell, who's observing traffic. He says he notices a cracked windshield, which is a violation of safety rules, right?
Correct.
And that could be cited, correct?
Correct.
All right. He said he also knows that the driver was did not have a driver's license. That would be another misdemeanor traffic stop, right?
Correct.
And you could cite him for not having a driver's license, right?
Correct.
All right. And then third, he said he stopped it because he didn't use his turn signal when he went into Bob Evans. Again, another misdemeanor traffic offense, right?
Correct.
All right. And we can agree, because we saw him on the video, he's wearing jeans, he's wearing a hoodie. I know you say you have this outer vest, but neither of you are wearing the official Manor Police uniform, are you? It's pretty simple, Detective. You're not wearing the official Manor Police uniform, are you?
Of a patrolman, no.
Right. And if you're in a marked police car and you're assigned to a zone, you're wearing a Mentor Police uniform, right?
As a patrolman, yes.
Okay. And when you're running traffic in a Mentor Police car and you stop someone for traffic, were you aware that you're supposed to have a official uniform on?
As a patrolman in those duties,
Well, no,
yes.
you're in a Mentor Police car and you're making a traffic stop for a misdemeanor offense. Were you aware that you're supposed to have a distinctive uniform on, which would be the Mentor Police uniform? Are you aware of that?
I think it would depend on the officer's capacity
Okay,
that
so
day.
you're not familiar with 454915?
No, I'm not
Okay.
aware of that.
Well, it says if you're doing a traffic stop, you have to be in a marked police car and in a distinctive uniform. We can agree he was not in a distinctive Mentor Police uniform today, can we not?
He
It's
would.
pretty simple. Was he in a distinctive Mentor Police uniform that day or not?
He was in his uniform as a narcotics detective that day.
So he was not in an official Mentor Police uniform. Real simple.
He was not in a patrolman's uniform that day.
All right, but he made a traffic stop only on misdemeanors. My client did not have a warrant for himself, did he?
He did not.
All right. You didn't see a controlled buy, either you or Detective Swindell, right?
I did not.
All right. Neither did he, did he?
I don't believe he did.
All right. So what we have is broken windshield, no turn signal, and no driver's license. That was it for the stop, right?
I believe his report said he had previous knowledge of the vehicle and the occupants as
Is
well.
that a crime?
No.
Thank you.
Can you redirect?
Your assignment on January 27th wasn't that of a Mentor City patrolman, was it?
It was not.
And the duties that you were there to execute had nothing to do with enforcing traffic laws on that day, correct?
Correct.
Nothing further.
Any recross based on that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down.
Thank you.
Next witness?
State will call Detective Swindell.
Raise your right hand, please. You swear testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes, sir. All right, have a seat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please state your name, spell your name for the record.
It's Don Swindell, Swindell.
And Detective, you are employed with the City of Mentor,
I am.
and what is your occupation?
I'm a detective
How long have you been with the City of Mentor?
for 18 years.
So, and function both as a detective and a police officer, is that right?
Yes.
Same stipulation, Mr. Green?
Yeah, same stipulation.
Judge, we would stipulate to the suspension.
Okay.
So if you would just briefly outline your education and training.
Oh, we'll stipulate to all that. Yeah.
Well, I guess, do you want any training beyond his basic police academy? Is that what you're looking for? Okay.
Have you had additional training that relates to your current assignment in the Detective Bureau?
Yes.
And what does that consist of?
Drug interdiction training, interview and interrogation, roadside interview, hidden compartments in regards to smuggling narcotics.
Okay, and you said roadside interviewing, is that a different training method, if you will, as opposed to interrogation at the station?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And you had that particular training in conjunction with beginning your service in the Detective Bureau as a narcotics detective, is that right?
Yes.
And do you have occasion in your position as a narcotics detective to conduct a lot of roadside interviews?
Yes.
And why is that?
Just in order to get information as to people who are coming and going and corroborating their stories to see if they could be involved in criminal activity.
So at least a portion of your investigation involves activity that involves observing traffic or being out on the road.
Yes.
And you heard the testimony of Detective Butler. I mean, some of your duties also encompasses undercover activity, is that right?
Yes.
Now, are you familiar with the uniform requirements of the city of Mentor that they have for you in your current assignment?
I am.
And what are they?
Being assigned to the narcotics unit for the Detective Bureau, we're allowed to wear plain clothes, jeans, hoodie, t-shirt, whatever is applicable for what you're doing at the particular day.
In fact, you're given those guidelines at the time that you are assigned to that particular division of the Bureau, is that right?
Yes.
All right. I'm handing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit. I'm going to make it, well, I'll leave it as 3. Are you familiar with that document?
I am.
And what is that, sir?
It's a orientation packet you get when you're assigned as a new detective.
Does it provide a dress code?
It does.
Okay. And that's on the first page?
Correct.
And the last line of that particular dress code references narcotics detectives, is that right?
It does.
What does it say?
It says denim jeans, t-shirts, and tennis shoes are not permitted other than for narcotics detectives.
So in your particular assignment, you are permitted to wear civilian clothes, as you've described, is that right?
Yes.
And that's your uniform
Correct.
when you're assigned to that division. All right. So turning our attention to January 27th, 2025, you report to work and you're working with Detective Butler.
I am.
You heard him explain that you two decided to do an unmarked mark type of investigatory day, if you will.
Yes.
So what did that consist of from your viewpoint?
I was assigned to the marked detail, marked unit, and he was the unmarked.
Okay, so what does that mean? What are you going to do? And
So-
what's he going to do?
I'm going to be operating a marked patrol unit. I'm going to have access to resources that unit provides. It provides us with leads access. So if Detective Butler, for example, needs to run a plate or run a license check or something like that, he can notify me and I can do those tasks for him. Check our local databases for any involvements for individuals he deals with, things of that nature. So it allows us a little more resources to conduct our patrol investigations that day.
So when you say that you're observing traffic, or as he used, monitoring traffic, are you doing that to enforce the traffic laws or to run radar or do things of that nature? What is your purpose?
I'm just watching traffic and vehicles passing by
For what purpose?
because the area which we work that particular day is one of our higher drug areas. It's surrounded by 2 interstate accesses, and it's also has lower income type of hoteling that's indicative of drug related crimes that we respond to pretty normally.
It's an activity related to drug interdiction or drug enforcement.
Correct.
Now, on that day, what were you wearing?
I was wearing plain clothes with our outer vest carrier issued by the police department that Detective Butler demonstrated when he was on the stand here.
And you have yours as well?
Nearly identical.
So for purposes of the record,
You don't have to carry
yeah,
it there.
it's identical to Detective Butler's,
Very similar, yes.
with the exception of the name on there,
That's correct.
your name.
Yes.
Same patch or badge insignia,
Yes.
police on the back.
Correct.
Now, turning your attention to approximately, 1:30, 2 o'clock, while you were situated on 306, you were sitting where?
I was sitting facing eastbound in the driveway of Optima Dermatology at 7676 Reynolds Road.
Okay. Any vehicles come to your attention?
Yes.
Okay. And which ones?
There was a gold Toyota that passed my location southbound on Reynolds Road.
Okay. What drew your attention to that vehicle?
A prior narcotics investigation that me and my partner conducted, it was brought to our attention through that informant that there was a fentanyl dealer named Michael Polinsky who was associated with the vehicle owner of that vehicle.
Okay. And when you saw that vehicle and observed the condition of the vehicle, what did you take note of?
Also within that investigation, I was made aware of Mr. Wheeler and the vehicle owner, Carmela Higgs, as part of that investigation. So when that vehicle passed me, I immediately identified Cody as the operator of it.
Okay. And what, if anything else, did you know about, or did you know at that time about Cody Wheeler and the operation of the vehicle?
That he did not have a license.
So did you take note of anything concerning the windshield of that vehicle?
I did.
And what was that?
That is correct.
So once you made those observations, what's the next thing you do?
I pulled out, once the vehicle passed me, I pulled out, traveled southbound, and was going to initiate a traffic stop on the vehicle.
Okay. And once you got out of where you were sitting stationary out on the 306, where did the vehicle go?
The vehicle turned westbound onto Palisades Parkway, and then it turned northbound into the parking lot of Bob Evans Restaurant.
And at some point, did your dash cam come in?
It did.
And were you also wearing a body cam that day?
I was.
Bobby, just switch them out.
Okay. We can
Do I click out of it?
try to check it first and see if it's checked it safely. No, just
I'm afraid.
last time.
Yeah.
Is that, you marking that? as
States 2.
2? Any objection to 2, the body
No, Your
cam?
Honor.
I have it on my,
Computer.
I believe so.
Okay, we can put it there if you want.
I apologize, Judge.
We'll do this up front. You don't wanna-
I don't know, what happened? So, let's see.
I mean, when you get it, council matters, put it up on board.
Okay. I believe, yes, this is, I have it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm showing you the beginning of State's Exhibit 2, Detective Swindell. Do you recognize what this is?
I do.
And what is that, sir?
It's my forward-facing dash camera.
Did you have an opportunity to look at a portion of this before coming to court today?
I did.
Does it fairly and accurately represent which?
Stipulate to it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Graham. Judge may publish.
Good.
Is this the vehicle you just testified that caught your attention?
Yes.
Detective? So this is the vantage point where you, from when you first observed the vehicle?
As it passed me, yes. I could see it as it's also coming southbound,
towards
approaching my
you.
location, correct?
So now you're headed southbound?
Correct. Westbound, this is Palisades Parkway. Vehicle turned northbound right into this parking lot here. And then the vehicle parked and then I initiated the traffic stop.
So that's you getting out of the car?
Yes.
And initiating the traffic stop? Okay. I apologize, Mr. Gonzalez, I need to flip to the body cam. We could put State's Exhibit 1 back in.
Yep.
When you finish that, would you go out there and tell him to shut up?
Yes, we did last time.
No, we got to click on the watch guard. Thank you. So, I'll pause it for a minute, showing you the beginnings of the Swindell body cam on State's Exhibit 1. Do you recognize that?
I do.
You had once again an opportunity to come before to review it.
I did.
Same stipulation?
Yes.
So for purposes of the record, this is after you've observed the vehicle and now you're following the vehicle?
Correct.
Please stay in the car for me, please. Seat. How you doing, brother? You got driver's license and insurance card?
38, go ahead.
So who is that speaking? At that point, that was you?
That is me speaking,
And
yes.
who are you speaking to?
I'm speaking to the driver, who is Cody Wheeler, and the front passenger is Carmela Higgs.
Okay. Now I'm going to advance your camera to about 5:45 with a 5:41, 5 minutes and 41 seconds into your body cam.
We're at the back right of my patrol vehicle.
And that was your vehicle that marked unit that you were driving that day?
Correct.
And who are you with?
I'm with Mr. Wheeler.
I gotta figure some things out. You be cool with me.
I've been
It's a fake ass money.
And so there's the reflection of the two of you,
Yes,
and that shows what you're wearing that day.
correct.
Okay. And that's exactly like your exterior carrier is with the patch in your name
Yes.
and police on the back. So your civilian clothing and the equipment you had on, was that compliant with Manor City's policy
Yes.
in terms of what you were permitted to wear as a uniform or designated or distinctive uniform in the Narcotics Bureau as a detective?
Yes.
And, I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Graham?
Good afternoon, Detective Swindell.
Good afternoon.
Wait, because with this marked police car, is that something you guys do often? Is that something you do often, you do the unmarked and marked?
Yes.
Okay. And we can agree that Detective Butler's not going to stop anybody in the unmarked vehicle, right?
Unless it's something egregious, like a violent felony that he witnessed or something
Right,
along
but
those lines.
but he's not going to make a traffic stop for traffic violations, right?
No.
All right. And with the marked unit, that's what you're going to do. You're going to stop somebody if you see something wrong that's a traffic violation, right?
Not in and of itself, but
Okay.
something wrong,
Well,
yes.
let's talk about this day. You did not see any felonies being committed by my client, did you?
I did not.
All right. Didn't see, and he didn't come out of that motel where you guys have a lot of problems, right?
He did not.
All right. And you had indicated to the prosecutor that you've been doing this for 18 years. So you've been doing this a long time, and weren't you with Bainbridge Township before Mentor?
I was.
How long were you with them?
3 years.
All right, so you've been a policeman 20 years. And was on the street a long time, right?
That's correct.
And very good at what you do, right?
That's an open interpretation.
Well, I'm just asking. I mean, you've made a lot of traffic stops in your career, have you not?
I have.
And you've made a lot of arrests in your career.
I have.
For OBIs, drugs, guns, all kinds of good stuff, right?
That's right.
All right. So when you're in the marked police car, because this is where I'm having a problem, because you guys are using a marked police car, but you're not in the Mentor police uniform. You're not in with the shirt and the blue pants. You're in an undercover uniform driving a marked police car. Right?
Oh, I didn't know if that was a question. I'm
And I
sorry.
asked Detective Butler this, and I'm gonna ask you the same question. Are you familiar with 45, 49, 15, about when you make a traffic, or when you're doing traffic, how you're supposed to look?
I'm somewhat familiar with that. I can't repeat it, obviously.
Okay,
or anything.
but are you aware about the distinctive uniform?
Yes.
And can we agree, or can't we agree, that the distinctive uniform would be the official Mentor police uniform?
For what assignment?
Well, it says running traffic. I mean, look, can we agree you're running traffic this day when you go to stop somebody for a traffic violation? Or can't we?
There was more to this than just traffic.
Well,
If
but
I-
you stopped him because you saw a broken windshield.
Okay.
You saw the fact that you didn't think he had a driver's license, and you confirmed that with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. And he didn't use his turn signal. Those are all misdemeanor traffic violations. That's it.
It's not it.
What else did you stop him for?
Like I said earlier, that this vehicle was brought to our attention through prior
I
drug
understand that, but
investigations.
that's
and-
not a crime
Hold on,
because.
hold on, let him finish that answer. Go ahead, finish
Go
your
ahead.
answer.
This vehicle was brought to our attention through prior drug investigations where confidential informants told us that a fentanyl dealer was staying and residing with Mr. Wheeler and Mrs. Higgs at a hotel in the city of Menor. Myself and my partner conducted surveillance on this vehicle for multiple weeks in
That
order
fentanyl
to
dealer
gather
was not in-
information.
That fentanyl dealer was not in the car, was he?
I'm just telling you, there's more to this than,
I'm just asking a simple question. The fentanyl dealer was not in the car, was he?
no, he was not.
All right. And Mr. Wheeler was in the car, and you said he's had prior drug activity, but that doesn't make it a crime because he's driving and he's got a prior drug activity, right?
No.
Okay. So what we can agree about is that you stopped him for 3 misdemeanor violations in a marked Menor police car, but not in the Menor police uniform, right?
Discarding the other information that I brought to light, yes.
But that's not a crime. You didn't stop him because of that, you stopped him because of crimes. That's the only way you can stop somebody, right?
Yes,
All right, yeah, because you've been doing this a long time. And was there another Menor police car there too, that day? Was
Yes.
there a third car? And that was a marked police car with a officer in a full Menor police uniform, right?
as a patrolman, correct?
Yeah, in a full, all right. You didn't ask him to stop the car?
No,
Okay, thanks.
Redirect?
You were in a marked police car, correct?
I was.
And was it your exclusive or main purpose that day when you went out in that marked police cruiser to enforce traffic law?
No,
Your purpose was to enforce or investigate drug infractions, is that correct?
correct.
And there was more than 2 occupants in that vehicle, right?
There were.
There's a third.
There
Were
was.
you aware of that when the vehicle passed?
I was.
And your stop was associated with drug investigation? correct?
Yes,
And you were dressed in a uniform? And you had Menor City issued equipment on, correct?
correct.
In fact, you had uniquely identifying Menor City items on. You had your badge, your insignia on, as well as your name.
Yes.
Nothing further.
Recross?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right, you can step down.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses?
No, Judge.
Mr. Graham, any witnesses?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right. You want to argue, Ms. Naroda?
Certainly, Judge. There are 2 issues here, Judge. The first of which is whether or not the exclusive or main purpose of the officers on that day was to enforce traffic. The testimony was it was not. That being said, I think the interpretation of that phrase in both the statutes, that being 4549.14 and 4549.15, as well as Evidence Rule 601, the phrase exclusive or main purpose of enforcement of the traffic laws doesn't necessarily just relate to the instant activity or the instant arrest or apprehension. In State v. Huth, the Ohio Supreme Court says that they read the phrase that on duty exclusively or for the main purpose of enforcing motor vehicle or traffic laws to refer to the officer's main purpose for his whole period of duty and not to his duty during the apprehension and arrest of the suspect. So the testimony is clear what Detective Butler and Detective Swindell's, in particular Detective Swindell's assignment was. He was working narcotics, he was in the Bureau. He wasn't out there to run radar or enforce the laws. It was a tool he used in his enforcement for his purposes as a narcotics bureau detective. That being said, Judge, if you find that he was running traffic, he was in a distinctive uniform. He had his exterior carrier, as you've seen on both the camera and what they brought here to court today, with unique identifiers on it. There is no statutory definition of distinctive, but other cases have found that other tactical uniforms such as a canine carrier, members who are involved in gang task force who are in plain clothes or tactical gear to be distinctive uniforms. I believe the canine carrier case was from the 11th District and found that a polo with insignias on was sufficient. The only thing missing from the patrol uniform was the arm patch, which is similar to the identification of the badge on the exterior carrier between the uniforms, and a blue shirt and blue pants. So the state would submit that Detective Swindell was well within his duties and executed them flawlessly by conducting the stop after seeing a vehicle that he knew was involved in prior investigation and for which he had prior information about, and once he observed the moving violations, to use that as a tool to further along that investigation on that day. So we would ask that you would deny the defendant's motion to suppress.
Mr. Grant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, it was an interesting argument, and I guess we got to decide what happened this day. What happened this day is they used this little marked and unmarked unit thing, and it was obvious they were not familiar with the statute, so they're obviously not familiar with the evidence rule. So I think they just made a mistake here, because they didn't understand that when you make traffic stops, and that's what he was doing, he can tell us whatever he's investigating, or there's maybe a dealer in the car, which there wasn't. He sees a broken windshield, he sees him not use his turn signal, and he knows that he doesn't have a driver's license, and he confirms it with the B&B. But that falls under the statute, and that falls under the evidence rule, that these are misdemeanor offenses, and if you are stopping for a misdemeanor offense, you must be, which he was, in a marked police car, but you must be in a distinctive uniform. That's the Menor police uniform, or if the State Highway Patrol was here, it'd be the State Highway Patrol uniform. The fact here is he's not in uniform, he's in jeans and a hoodie. He's not in the blue Menor police pants, he's not in the blue Menor police uniform. Look, I made a mistake, Judge, but the law here is very clear. If he's not properly identified with the proper uniform, he's incompetent to testify. And that's the reason we filed this. The question becomes, they're doing this so they can stop people with a marked car and then dig into this. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but here's the problem. He didn't see a controlled buy sitting right across from this motel, which is a problem in Menor. He doesn't see anything that raises to a level of a felony or anything that he can stop him for any reason. If he did, we wouldn't be here. He stopped him for simple traffic, and I think they made a big mistake here. And because of that, Your Honor, I think you have to find that he's incompetent to testify. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I will take it under advisement and issue a written decision.
Thank you, Your Honor.